This is a hardware overview of our ProXR Lite 4-channel high-power relay controller. This particular relay controller has 30 amp relays installed. We also have optional 20 amp relays that allow you to control high-power loads from 20 amps to 30 amps. This controller also includes 4 LED status lights so that you can see which relays are active at any time. We also have an ad hoc jumper here. This ad hoc jumper is used if you happen to be using a Wi-Fi communication technology. It does not apply to the USB version of this controller. Here we have 8 channels of analog to digital conversion. A to D converters can be used to read external sensors such as light sensors, temperature, humidity, and those kinds of things. Any kind of sensor can be connected to this controller that gives a 0 to 5 volt output. This controller can read sensors in 8-bit or 10-bit resolution. One of the big rules of A to D converters is that the inputs should never be left floating. That means they all have to be connected to something. So we include 10K resistors on this board, and we pull those resistors high to keep these inputs quiet. With this jumper, you can pull them high or low, depending on what the needs are for your particular application. This controller also features an integrated temperature sensor. This temperature sensor connects directly to the output here, and this output can be wired to any of your available analog to digital converters. These analog to digital converters can be used to control or to read that temperature sensor. Optionally, these A to D inputs can be mapped to directly control each of these relays. So if you need manual control as well as software control of the relays, you can make a wire connection to the input that will manually take control of these relays. You can force the relays on or off or flash or many other types of things. We also have an auxiliary 5 volt output. That is useful if you need a small power supply for external circuits for connecting your A to D inputs. We also include a 2-position terminal block for connecting your own 12 volt power supply to this controller. You can connect to this terminal block, or you can use the integrated 2.1 millimeter center positive 12 volt DC power jack, which is shown here. Here we have a program run jumper. Normally, the jumper is installed in run mode. This allows the controller to be used for daily operations. However, if you should make some settings to this controller that are incorrect and you lose communication with this controller, you can always recover your settings by switching this jumper over to program mode and then running our base station software. Here we have a busy ready LED. The busy ready LED indicates the status of the processor of this controller. Normally the processor is in ready mode, but when a command is received, this LED will switch over to busy during communications. When it's finished, it'll return back to ready mode. Here you'll see that we have a USB module installed. This USB module features a USB mini connection. However, if you decide at a later time you do not need a USB connection to this controller, maybe you want to change to Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or wireless, or maybe even Ethernet, you can pull this module out of the controller and put in a different module and change your technology as your needs change. That about covers it for this relay controller, but if you have any questions, please let us know. We would be glad to help you out. Thank you.